The All Blacks have released their squad for the upcoming July series. Now, there's a couple new faces in here, and there's a couple of players that I do not know about. I'm not gonna say that I'm an expert in Super Rugby or you know New Zealand rugby at all. I'm a lot more familiar when it comes to French rugby, English rugby, and South African rugby. But I want to break this down because there are a couple of players that are brand new here, a couple of players that I've just recently started to do a bit of research on, but also a couple big names, and a lot of coverage, a lot of versatility. So I want to break down the squad and see what you guys think. So do give me a little bit of slack though, because I am still doing a bit more research on these players. So I'm trying to be as detailed as possible, but that definitely will improve in time. So first thing I gotta say, I gotta give it to whoever did the artwork for the All Blacks, because my word, it is so handy having the squad put into its positions, hookers, props, locks, loose forwards, and so on. Instead of just kind of figuring out who is who and kind of trying to recognize names to put into position, it's nice having this, right? So let's break it down. We've got hookers, Brody McAllister, who's being called up. We have Semisoni, Taukeaho, Taukeaho, uh, Taukeaho, I think that's his name. And then Cody Taylor. I know Cody Taylor. I know Cody Taylor is an absolute monster. So he's going to be brilliant. Props, we have Ethan de Groot, Tyrell Lomax. I don't think there's any person in world rugby that does not know who Tyrell Lomax is. The guy is an absolute giant and one of the most mean scrummagers you're going to find. Fletcher Newell, Ollie Norris getting himself a new cap as well, another player being called up. Pasilio Tosi, Tamati Williams. I really like Tamati Williams. He's one of these players that he hits so hard. He's got relatively good feet. And, you know, the guy, he's just like a rock. Try to move him out. That's what you get with Tamati Williams. Uh, Locks. I think you'd be stupid if you don't know who Scott Barrett is and the Barrett brothers. But yeah, Scott Barrett. We got Fabian Holland, new cap, Patrick Tuipulotu, and then Tupo Vai or Vai. Yeah, Vai. I think that's his name, Vai. So yeah, they got some pretty good coverage in terms of the locks, especially with a new face. I do like this new system. They pretty much have almost a new play in every single position, which I do like to see, because that's just adding in that extra little bit of freshness, that fresh face. Giving people a little bit more time to develop as well, and kind of pushing on for the next generation. So that's always lovely to see. In terms of the loose forwards, we have Sami Penny Finau, Luke Jacobson, Duplessis Karifi, and this monster, Duplessis Karifi, I have never heard of before, but this guy is scary. Check out any form of highlights that you can get from this guy, because he is a scary customer. So yeah, I can definitely see him breaking into definitely see him breaking into the All Blacks like soon. Like become a starter. Like I really like this guy. He is a scary customer. Artie Surveyor, it's Artie. So he's sitting in at vice captain, and then young player of the year for 2024. We have Wallace Satiti, one of the best up and coming talents in world rugby. And I feel we are going to be seeing Wallace Satiti at 8. I think that's where he's going to be. He controls the game from there, and he's really effective when he's at 8. Um, so yeah, that's definitely going to be a big one. In terms of the halfbacks, we have Noah Hotham, we have Cortez Ratima, then Cam Roygard. Honestly, that's a difficult one, but Cam is he's just one of those tried and tested players. He's just there, he's gonna do you good, and he's not gonna take in the nicest way. Um, he's not gonna take BS from anybody. he'll happily be in your face as well. So yeah, we have Roygaard, first 5'8". We have Mr. Bowden Barrett, baby. Bowden Barrett and D-Mac. Damien McKenzie, honestly, I do feel that that Razor, he's going to end up going for McKenzie. He's just one of those players. He's just got that experience. He's got everything you potentially need, and I think he kind of takes it over Bowden Barrett. But what a lovely selection to have! What a brilliant problem to have! And then we have midfielders. Now, this is something you're going to see in terms of the midfielders and the outside backs. Is there's a lot of midfielders, not many outsides. So there's a lot of rotation, a lot of versatility here, especially with Reiko Ioane, who's going to be joining Leinster next year. He's got the ability to play as a 12. He can also play out on the wings as well. So he can definitely fill in for both places if anything is needed. So yeah, this is pretty spicy. We have Timochi Tavatavanawai, Tava Tavanawai, Tava Tavan Tava Tavanawai, Tava Tavanawai. These names are just getting more difficult and more difficult. Another brilliant player. He is so quick to break people's ankles. He will happily step inside, outside. He has the legs to beat anyone. Anyone about, and he's also got just enough strength to be able to really smash into people. So, I definitely want to see him play and see how well he's going to fit into the All Black side. But he has a lot of competition here because obviously I think more than likely we are going to end up seeing Geordie Barrett in at 12. Reiko Ioane can play in that center, those wides, and a lot of these players are pretty versatile as well. So it's going to be interesting to see, who gets what. And then the outsides, you have Caleb Clark, Will Jordan, Ruben Love, and then Saver Reese. And honestly, I think this is quite a scary squad. They have a lot of um, they have a lot of talent, like serious experienced talent, but they have this nice blend of serious experienced talent, but a lot of upcoming youth that's been playing well in the Super Rugby as well. And yeah, I don't know. I think this is gonna be interesting to see how well they are actually able to gel, and work together. But in terms of my starting 15, um, I'm going to give a starting 15 as to what I could see, experience, and, a nice little bit of versatility, a bit of youth, a bit of experience, and, what I think would be a good fit. So just bear with me, right? So my forward pack. So I've got Ethan de Groot at 1, Cody Taylor as hooker, and then Tyrell Lomax as tight head. Honestly, I think that's gonna be the way that they end up going for this. And then in terms of my lock pairing, I'm going Scott Barrett and then Fabian Holland. Um, my back row, I'm gonna go Samapeni Finau, Duplessis Karifi at 7, and then I don't know. I think we are going to be seeing Artie Surveyor at 8, but things can change, especially if you have Wallace Atiti as well. Um, I don't want to start Wallace Atiti, especially for the first test. I think he's more than likely going to start on the bench and then go in, but obviously I could be wrong. Wallace Atiti could quite easily start the game and absolutely kill. But I'm starting Satiti on the bench. Um, I then have my halfback. So number 9, I'm going Cortez Ratama. And then my 10, I'm going with D-Mac, Damien McKenzie. I think this would be a good pairing. Good eyes, quick on the ball, brilliant in terms of their release play, and their kicking game is just going to open up so much space. They are very flary, and they will allow those backs for New Zealand to really open up a lot of space and to just get those legs running. You know, open up the little gaps and just let them run. So yeah, I'm going Cortez Ratima 9. I'm going 10 DMAC. My centers, I'm going Reiko Ioane, and then my 13, I'm going Anton Linet Brown. Um, Again, I think they are going to be giving a good, nice pairing for the both. Obviously, I am going to be putting Geordie Barrett on the bench to start. I think by the end, he's probably going to end up being I think he is probably going to end up being a first team starter. But honestly, I'm putting him on the bench um, just to start, right? And then my wings, I'm giving Caleb Clark my 11, and then Will Jordan my 14. Will Jordan, he is so good. He's so positionally brilliant. He's going to cause people a lot of problems. His footwork is on point. He's got the ability to smash through people. He's just he kind of has everything that you could potentially want, and he's been playing really well. So I think he could potentially cover that. I think he can also cover your 15 role if needed. I think he could also cover the 13 as well. So if needed, we could potentially see a Will Jordan or a Geordie Barrett Will Jordan, potentially maybe even Geordie Barrett, Geordie Barrett Wane. So there is a lot of there is a lot of versatility here. I think looking my 15, I'm giving Xavier Reese, who I think he can also cover the wings as well if needed. So they got a lot of positional versatility. A lot of these backs can kind of shift and play so many different roles. Um, but I think that just goes to be just that much better for Razor. It's going to give him so much more options and availability to what he can experiment with. I think he is definitely going to want to be giving these younger, fresher names a good fair amount of chance to start getting into the game, like your Ollie Norris as well. So I think they are going to be given chances that he's not just going to want to go straight on and play all the experience. This is why I'm putting players like Geordie Barrett on the bench. I'm putting players like Wallace Atiti on the bench. Obviously, he's very experienced, very young as well, but I think they're going to want to measure how they use him. They don't just want to be throwing him into everything, right? And then um my outlook on them, because honestly, I think they're either going to potentially be going a 6-2, maybe even a 5-3, um depending on how they're going to play the game, right? I have a feeling this team is more going to be set up to having like a 5-3 bench, but that gives them a nice amount of flexibility in terms of their forwards, their backs, and because their players are so versatile, and a lot of these players can really swap outside of really the forwards. The forwards, especially the front pack, they pretty set, Lucy, Tight, and Hooker. But yeah, I think I think there's a lot of options here for for Razor, which I really like. And I like it that we are going to be potentially seeing a lot of youth. So give me your thoughts on this, because I can definitely see this going a couple different ways. And he has a lot of experience to push down onto others. And then there is still the injuries, the injury cover and so on, which definitely will play a big factor. And I think being where it's held, it's gonna allow a lot of the more local talent to be able to shift in if needed, especially in terms of injuries and so on, because it's international rugby. We are going to be expecting injuries. We are going to be expecting replacements to be called up. So yeah, I think they want to try and minimize damage, especially to some of their bigger players, considering the the France test, which obviously France are not going to be putting out their full squad, which I think this gives New Zealand a lot of time to really start experimenting with a lot of other different players, a lot of different other positions. Players that are really breaking through in in Super Rugby and kind of trying to develop that new talent going into the World Cup. And then talking about the World Cup, this is a 33-man squad. If that's not ringing World Cup test, I don't know what is. Honestly, I think this is a play. This is getting them ready for the World Cup, right? Everything is from now is going to be starting World Cup preparation, getting them in the best shape, getting the best players possible, getting an understanding of everyone that is needed, anyone that is disposable, everyone that isn't, minimizing damages, using a lot of their time, their tests to really start producing better, higher quality talent, more experienced talent, but at the same time, giving those more experienced players time as well to really still develop, keep themselves fit, keep themselves ready, so that once the World Cup does pop up, everybody is fit. We have a lot of young, experienced youth that are coming through. They got a couple of tests under their belt, bit more experience. And then you have those more experienced players like your Geordie Barrett, your Bowden Barretts, your Artie Surveyor, who already have done it all. They have the experience, they have the leadership, and to really then start pushing on, because this is going to be getting into potentially their last World Cup, which will probably end up seeing them play properly, and then kind of fizzle out as it happens. So I don't know. I think this is a good balance, and I want to hear what you guys think. So as always, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.